Welcome, one and all, to the Whatever Show, where we talk about whatever we feel like and hope you throw money at us while we do it. No schedule, no rules, no format. This is the Swift Wings Friday Speakeasy. If you can't donate, no pressure. We just ask that you do us a favor. And if you're new to the channel, please click that subscribe button and bell icon so that you always get notified of our uploads. If you are returning, please share this video and let us know in the comments that you did and where to. That'd be great. Appreciate it so much. Today we may discuss the newest hot trend of basing your Today we will discuss the newest hot trend of basing your entire personality on how much you hate what others love and expecting the Godfather from every MCU entry. And today's episode is also sponsored by forming your own opinion, being able to like/dislike something without ranking it the best or worst thing ever. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode, and we will join you right after the jump.
Hello.
Hello.
I was talking and I was muted, but Jesse also looked very confused. I wasn't sure if he was frozen or not.
Well, it's not that I'm frozen. It's just we click the video button, and then I just get the little blue bar at the bottom that says the video is playing. I don't know when it ends until eventually you show up on screen. So what I'm really looking to invest into, and maybe we can get a sponsorship here, is like the squeegees that you use on shop floors. I'd really like to use them for my face because we're just starting here and it's so damn muggy in here. I just need to just squeegee the sweat out of my eye holes. Anyways, Jeremy Miller, welcome to the show down the street, and thank you for those of you just following right on over from our Miss Marvel review. Appreciate you joining us here. I hope you're not looking for any kind of structure. Not that our last video was very structured, but that's just because we like to talk to you guys. So,
I blame John and Fast and the Furious for that, if I'm being perfectly honest.
I have no problem blaming Vin Diesel for many problems. Cute.
But you know what? It's not a bad thing.
Hello, Montyverse. Pat.
Lego's here. Garth is here.
Hello, welcome.
Pat's here.
We got
everybody's here.
Just about.
Guys and gals and everyone in between. We appreciate you guys showing up.
Yeah, we got things to talk about. We don't know what they are yet, but we're gonna chat for a while and see how it goes. Sean, have you been wearing this shirt this whole time?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Funny. Okay, so I went to get coffee this morning, and I show up. I drive. That's 5 minutes down the road. Go get myself some coffee. Come back, start work. I was working from home this week because I was injured. I fell off a telephone pole a couple weeks ago. That was fun, but my hand's almost better. You can see a nice little skin's growing back finally. I had stuff going on.
Do you watch? Have you seen Austin Powers Goldmember?
Yeah.
So I just see that one's a keeper.
That one's a keeper. No, we're not doing that. I'm not eating my skin.
He says, "Whoa, where can I get that shirt?" Well, it's funny you mentioned that, John. Such a coincidence because we actually have a link. Sean, where's the link?
Somewhere.
It's in the bottom of the description, everybody.
Too public. There you go. It's at that. Yeah. That's where Jesse said. I need to make a graphic with all these links so we can just pop it up on screen, but I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, or a subscribe button so I can stop just needlessly begging people for the pity subs.
Please subscribe. Please do that. So I funny though. I went to go get my coffee this morning, and I was wearing this, and I walk up to the counter, and he goes, "Whoa, dude with his own face on his shirt. What can I get you?" I'm like, "What? Am I in Surfer Bro town?" Like, "Whoa, dude, you got your face on your own shirt, man." I was like,
"You watch Barry, right, Sean?"
No, I've never seen it actually.
You've never seen Barry?
I've never seen Barry. Dude, I've been so inundated with between like the FCL stuff in the last 2 years trying to play catch up to like, I'm like, okay, cool. I'd love to do this movie trivia thing. Oh shit, you picked me. Okay, now I have to actually watch all these movies that I haven't seen.
Well, Garth, I actually put it up for a vote. I said, can we have a shirt with just Allison? And since Sean's vote counts for 3 times what our votes do, even though Scott and I both said I think it's a great idea, Sean said terrible, absolutely terrible.
It's a no for me, dog.
Yeah,
can't let my wife know about her. She's like, what? There's a girl on your team? This cannot stand. Allison's great. She already keeps this channel afloat, so we appreciate her putting out more content than we do on a weekly
also,
basis.
Like, I just look at like how consistent the You've Never Seen It are doing, which, by the way, if you guys haven't listened to You've Never Seen It, we have it on YouTube, we have it on Spotify, we have it on Apple Podcasts. It's very entertaining. There's a plethora of fantastic guests and movies. And the thing that's ironic is I haven't seen most of the movies on this list. So like 100%. I'm just as guilty as Allison is. And I think, Sean, you were saying that you want to watch some of these movies before listening to it. I don't. Yes. I'm listening to them first, and it's making me excited to go watch them because, it's not like I'm spoiling an MCU film. I don't feel like a lot of it's lost by hearing from it now. Sure. It was nice to hear about Blade Runner from a different perspective. I believe that was with the movie guys, Paul Preston, Adam Witt.
Yeah.
Which still my favorite episode so far.
100%. But I think that's also because the movie guys are my favorite people. But Adam very succinctly says, this is a boring movie. And anytime he pitches Blade Runner to someone, he always tells them up front, like, this is not a like action boom bang pow movie. It is a boring movie. Just be prepared for that. So when you go into it, I don't think I was prepared for that going to Blade Runner. I thought it was going to be a little more action packed, not quite so much noir, slow and grimy. And it took me 3 tries to watch the movie. But yeah, I agree. That episode with You've Never Seen It is one of my favorites.
Speaking of noir, he's dead. Are we not talking about that?
We can. We didn't really do a boys season review because we were going to do it last week and then we ended up not doing the speakeasy. So that makes sense. Joey, I've been drinking for an hour. Also, Joey, it's down in the description of the video. Well, I guess on Twitch it's not. Joey, get on YouTube.
No, I got this. I got this. Keep talking about stuff.
Jess is gonna put it in the chat. You can click on it too. Did anyone in the chat watch The Boys? Do you not want any spoilers? Is anyone not caught up with it? Because it got quite a lot less fanfare than I think a lot of the others. What is happening? Do you have someone setting off fireworks?
Yeah, apparently. Okay. I don't know. I hear it, so it's one of us. I'm actually not sure if it's you or me because I'm also hearing it. But,
that makes sense. The Boys didn't get quite as much attention, I think, as because I'm always afraid to go on Twitter the morning of a new show dropping, so I stay off of it until I can watch the show. Yeah. And Miss Marvel, people were talking about that. People were talking about Thor: Love and Thunder. No one was talking about The Boys. Not really that much. Not about the finale. You could see a review here and there, but no one was like going out of their way to spoil stuff. I also
think a part of it is a lot of the big review channels got the season early. Like when we were waiting on our first episode, like Dan Merle saw the whole show. And so I feel like it kind of separated, there's some people do, I don't know. But you have Miss Marvel, which is obviously like, if it's Marvel or Star Wars content, it's the go-to. And if you have to pick and choose what you're covering, I get it. I mean, Jeremy Johns just did his Boys review like a couple days ago.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch the review. I saw it pop up on YouTube, though. Vapion, I haven't seen The Burbs, so I haven't actually listened to that episode. I'll still play our episodes because if you're not playing your own content, then why would anyone else want to play it? So I always play our episodes to get some views on it. But I don't actually listen to them if I haven't seen, because I do want to watch these movies. I've seen bits and pieces of The Burbs. I just haven't sat and watched it start to finish.
I had no idea what The Burbs was about, and when I heard it was like, it's Tom Hanks, right? And it's like
Tom.
He's like speculating or something that his neighbors are in a satanic cult, and I was like, I had no idea. What?
Right.
That's what it's about.
I'm more interested in what Moose and Brother Lomas were talking about. Because
and if Allison has recovered.
Right.
Cancel the speakeasy. It's bird watch a long time. I don't have that kind of time tonight, I guess.
Don't have enough time. Oh, shots fired from John Lestrina. Tremors
You know what's
was the
funny
worst
is
episode.
before I took my shower today, I was wearing my one and only trimmer shirt that I got from Cavity Colors, and I was working in one of the stores, and one of the managers, I was like, "Hey, I have a question for you." He's like, "First, I have a question for you. Where the hell did you get a trimmer shirt?" Hey, thank you so much, buddy. Look at that. We got order placed. Someone's going to have Sean's beautiful face and other people on his shirt. Or maybe it's just the basic flick and reel design. Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows? We'll find out. Jeremy, I have seen 2049, and it was equally as boring as the first Blade Runner. Although way more beautiful because it was updated, lots of good graphics. It was fantastic. It looked fantastic. Hans Zimmer score, Junkie XL or Hans Zimmer, or collaboration of the two. I think it was Hans Zimmer. I could be wrong.
I don't play movie trivia.
But the score was great, and it looked beautiful. I liked Ryan Gosling. I actually really like Batista's character. Was like my favorite part of the movie because he seems so sad as like a former replicant. But, or I guess still currently a replicant, just a former evil replicant or something. I don't know. It was just slow, and I didn't find myself invested. But I only watched it the one time, so I don't know.
Did you see that Gremlins creator Joe Dante was casting shade on Grogu?
No.
Yeah, so apparently he
said,
it
was like a Gremlins ripoff or something. Yeah,
which is ironic because, correct me if I'm wrong, Empire Strikes Back came out in like 1980. Yoda as a puppet, and so when they make a smaller Yoda, all of a sudden he said it's a gremlin. Yeah.
Right, when did Gremlins come out? Like 84 or something like that?
82. Not 80.
It was significantly afterwards, I believe. Yeah. Here's the link. Why is that link so weird?
I don't know. T.publicly. I hope that's right. It looks like someone just like threw up.
Did someone click on that and tell us if that's the right link or not? Jesse just shared. Anatoly was posting links in the chat. Jesse just copy and pasted one. Shout out to Anatoly. Kubokievich. Whatever. Yeah, baby, on no burps tonight.
Oh, I said I was gonna hang on.
I knew Joe Dante directed. I knew Joe Dante directed it only because of the issues that Dan Murrell had in the Schmodown.
I brought my special hat out for you.
Why it wasn't Smets? Why did you bring your special? I'm not a quirky merc. You were a quirky jerk. Not me.
I coined the term quirky jerk.
You did. It was a beautiful scene. Does Smets like Tremors? You guys can bond. You guys can.
You know what? Smets has to fight me and PJ before he gets.
Before he gets to ultimate travels.
No, I was gonna say I had a great idea, but Allison's obviously already seen Newsies. I was gonna say I'd love Kevin Smets on the Newsies episode.
Yes, that would be. Yeah, but of course you've seen.
Third bottle of wine sucks. Well, wine sucks from the first bottle onwards. It makes sense.
I drink sweet wine, not real wine, so it gives me just a hangover, real bad hangover the next day. Everything is sweet.
Garth saying don't click on the link, it goes to TeePublic. Reminds me of The Labyrinth, which I believe you have not seen The Labyrinth, and
I still haven't seen The Labyrinth. I have not. Yes, that'll be our watch along.
We might do. I'm not gonna tease too much because we're not at that point yet. But we might do something with The Labyrinth. It's possible.
John knows. I fell asleep most recently at Jurassic World Dominion. I nodded off at that movie.
I fell asleep my second viewing of Elvis.
Really? Did you?
It was
late. The first?
I was wide awake the first viewing.
I want to say the first 30 minutes of Elvis had me wondering what everyone was talking about. And I'm like...
About it feeling long?
Yeah. What? About... Well, no, just about liking the movie. Like, I was like, dude, Taylor's seen this 20 times. Why does everyone love this movie so much? I was like, Austin Butler's good, but it's weird. It's quirky. Like, it's a Baz Luhrmann film for sure.
Yeah.
But it was as soon as he became the Elvis... And they started on that trip. Essentially, as soon as they left the circus, I was like, all right, now I'm on board. From then on, and Elvis is currently, I think, my number 4 movie of the year. I've seen about 20 movies this year, new movies, and it's my number 4. I loved it. I loved it at the end, and it just heartbreaking at the end. And I said this to you guys in the group chat. Watching A Star Is Born, when they do the most recent Star Is Born, 2017, I think is when it came out. When they do the hard cut from Gaga back to Bradley Cooper singing that song in the very end, I lost my shit when that happened. And they did the same thing in Elvis, and they do the hard cut to the real Elvis singing the song, his last song that he ever performed on stage, and I lost it. I was like, all right, they got me. Fucking tears roll. They got me. Spoilers for Elvis. He's dead. Sorry, guys.
Why am I laughing? I'm a terrible person.
Don't laugh. See, boom. Release dates. I listened to a sound playlist that PJ put together on Spotify, and the Gremlins theme pops on all the time. So I think I've checked it.
I'm so curious. John Lestrade said Labyrinth, one of those characters might feature in my casting for the next episode of Fantastic Four podcast, which, by the way, check that out if you haven't already.
From Mr. Dan Bettenhausen.
Jennifer Connelly, probably a bit old for Sue Storm, but I don't know who else. I mean, David Bowie is dead.
Well, now, but you could set it of its time, I suppose.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I love Small Soldiers. I haven't seen it in a hot minute, but I remember
Small Soldiers was my Gremlins, because I saw Gremlins later on.
Yeah,
and I feel like Small Soldiers has similar vibes.
Yeah.
Anyways, good talk. So there's a lot of things we could talk about. We have San Diego Comic-Con coming up next.
Garth, we forget as well, but that's why Joey is here to remind us, and you as well. Thank you for reminding everyone. Swift Wingblade over on Twitch. Go follow us. You'll see us pop up with this exact same show. And if I ever feel up to getting my OBS back together, maybe I'll stream some video games there again.
Yeah. For those of you that care or might care, the new Skate title game. It's the 4th Skate game, but it's just titled Skate, kind of like Scream or Halloween.
Did they replace the A with a 4?
No, it's just Skate.
Fort?
It's Skate period now. It's Skate period.
It's Fort.
Anyways, so that's coming out. So I'm getting excited to play that. I might download Skate 3, which came out like 12 years ago on my PlayStation, and maybe stream some of that. Or I'll just keep playing Skater XL, which is not related, but is a skateboarding game that I have fun with. And I'd love people to pop in the chat and tell me to do a kickflip. That's always fun.
Flip it.
Yeah.
Skate's fun. I played all the Tony Hawk games growing up, and then I want to say I think it was right when Skate, the very first game, came out. It was right when I trailed off.
2007, I think, was the first Skate game.
It was right when I trailed off of playing skater type of games anymore, and I wasn't really into sports games anymore either. It was all like fantasy stuff. I was all RPGs and like Halo after that, Gears of War, that type of stuff. Joey, you have Google. I don't know when Top Gun 2 comes out. It's either 45 days or 90 days, because I think that's the release window after theaters nowadays. But Tom Cruise is the type where he doesn't want it like streaming in both. So he wants it in theaters as long as it's possible.
Yeah, I've been big. We're in Skate 2, and that was a lot of fun. Most people that are really into the skateboarding games and into that like circle of fandom and stuff say that Skate 2 is better than 1 and 3. Skate 1 was great, but you couldn't get off your board. Skate 2 introduced being able to run off your board and stuff. But the map was so nice. And then Skate 3 became very arcadey. It's like, hey, launch off this mega ramp and see how you can throw your body down an 80-foot gap and break your neck. And I'm like, that's kind of stupid. That's not why I play the games, but I think it clicked for some people.
John's correct. We need an 8th Skate game.
It was better because it felt real. And now if you guys haven't, you can download the Skater XL. It's in kind of like an advanced beta phase-ish thing. Same with like Session. And they are considered skate simulators, not skateboarding games, because of the semi-realistic physics of it and the fact that it's extremely difficult. Your left stick on the controller, yeah. So this stick right here controls your left foot. This stick controls your right foot, and then you rotate with these triggers. It's very complicated, and if you don't understand skateboarding, you will have a bad time.
I think that's why I didn't like it, because I was never any good at skateboarding. I was
Skate
an
and
aggressive
Skater XL.
inline skater.
They're not button mashing games. Once you get to
Right.
the simulators, they're not button mashing. It's like, no, you have to understand how 360 flip works.
It's a no for me, dog.
Yeah. Anyways. So hopefully I successfully turned somebody onto playing that game.
Vaping on 4 movies. Only 4? Let's see if I can find.
Hey, Sean.
What's up?
There might be something lingering in the Streamlabs.
Not on my screen.
Oh, all right. Well, let me play it. Let me Streamlabs. Hey, we just got a Streamlab donation from the always awesome, always fantastic John Lestrina with a quote from Minions. Okay, listen. So, ladies, there's been a little change of plans. Something came up. You know that casino I was telling you about? I've got some vouchers to the buffet. That's Roman Pierce, I believe, played by Steve Carell in Minions. Thank you so much. Or was it Despicable Me? I'm not entirely sure.
One and the same, I believe.
Garth McMurray, I understand skating. Wobble on the board for a few feet, fall hard and start bleeding. Go home and read comics. Yeah.
Yes.
Except for usually bleed a few times and then come home and read comics.
I've heard Tina's Wonderland was good. I'm still playing Horizon because I'd taken a break for a while to do some studying and stop playing so many video games. Because I get so distracted when you have an open world RPG. I'm like, cool, what have I done in the main story? Oh, absolutely nothing. But I've been trying to traverse this rock formation for about 3 hours, and that has not happened. So
open world is the best and worst game.
100%. It's so, yeah, it's very time wasting. So speaking of Vapion, I've seen 4 movies this year. I pulled up my list because I had sent it in our group chat a while ago. Bring this up real quick. So this is my current top. What is it? So this is my top 24 in order. What do you think about that? What movies have you seen and not seen?
So I have I can look at what's on my AMC A list because that's like the only theater I've seen.
You've seen them all on AMC?
Yeah.
Okay.
I only go to AMC, so I can look at everything I've seen in theaters. But I watched a lot of streaming movies, also like new streaming movies. But I don't have any way of really tracking that. But I could look at
Vapion Forbidden West. I played Zero Dawn when it came out 5 years ago, I think. Forbidden West. I'm still probably only half the map is even uncovered. So I don't think I'm very far into it. Definitely less than 50%.
Oh, there's Lightyear. You got Lightyear about Lost City. Fascinating.
Yeah, I liked it.
I'm not saying I didn't like it, but Lost City I just rewatched and it's pretty great. All right, it was funny. I still haven't seen RRR yet, and I almost watched it today. I just didn't get to it. I need to do it.
So I'm undertaking a new thing, and I've talked to Jesse a bit about it. We haven't announced it officially on the channel yet because I'm still gathering things together. I'm going back. There'll be a new segment on our channel. I'm going back to Oscar movies. I haven't seen a ton of Oscar movies, and now that the Schmodown stuff is ending, I'm not studying Inner Geekdom stuff anymore. I'm jumping back. I'm starting with 1970, and I'm going to watch all 5, or in 2008, more than that, but all 5 Oscar-nominated films. Wow. I'm going to give it my own ranking.
Nominated movie.
Just the 5 Best Picture nominated movies. Year by year. And so I've already watched all 5 of the 1970 films, and I just still need to film the video itself, put it out there. But watch them. I'm going to give them my own Best Picture, my own favorite actress, my own favorite actor. I love that. Have some fun with it. and then move on year by year and just watch. And if I ever come across a sequel that was nominated from like an older movie, I'll probably go back and watch the first movie first, just so I know, what's going on. But yeah, there's in 1970 through 79 of all 10 years Oscar, all 5 years or 5 movies nominated, I'd only seen 2 movies of any Oscar nominated film for the entirety of the 70s.
Oh,
That was Star Wars
Martin
and Rocky.
Scorsese in the chat.
Marty Scorsese.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah, thank you. Now watch good movies.
I'm looking at my list, and I think I might actually have a couple that you don't have on your list, which would make me maybe. So I see it's way up there. Okay, wow, damn. So I got Jackass Forever.
Garth, just that I've seen Minions hurt your soul. I have kids. Remember that I have children. These are not my top movies of the year. These are just all the new 2022 movies that I've seen. Yeah. And they're in order from everything everywhere all at once is my number one movie, probably in the last 3 years, to be honest. I love that.
Pretty great.
All the way down.
Looking at your list, because you have a couple streaming movies on there, and I think I've seen other than Spiderhead, I think I've seen just most of them. Because I saw Chip and Dale, I saw Turning Red. I don't know what that's.
Adam Project?
Okay. Yeah, I saw Adam Project. That's what that is? I couldn't make that one up. It was so small, but yeah, that was good. Adam Project was good. Okay. Death on the Nile, I saw.
Oh, okay. Was that 2022? That was this year?
I saw it February 13th, 2022.
Okay.
So I think so. Not great, guys. Not great. You know what was fantastic though, and I would have ranked very high if I did my actual ranking. Cyrano with Peter Dinklage.
Oh, Peter Dinklage, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that movie. Obviously,
so that was a 2021 movie though, because that was nominated for Oscars.
It was. It just didn't get a wide release. So you're correct.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
It didn't get a wide release until this year. I couldn't see it any earlier. I wanted to. Anyways, Batman, Lost City. That third one was with
you were reading off the movies you've seen. Batman. I was like, yeah, Batman. Why are you saying it so many times?
I saw it 3 times. The third one's fun because actually no, I saw it 4 times because there's the 3 AMC, and then I saw it at the Chinese theater with Brandon Hanna after losing to him in the Schmodown, and then the Lost City.
Oh, but you guys came together. That's what's important.
We did. Sonic the Hedgehog, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Obviously, I somehow got into an AMC investor screening for The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent and saw that early. So that was cool. Fantastic Beasts.
Was that when you were in LA?
No, it was up here. That was in April.
Okay.
April 13th. Fantastic Beasts. Did you see The Northman? Is that on your list?
Yeah, it's not high. It's number, what is that? 12, 13, 14. It's my number 15 movie.
Currently. Oh, there it is. I liked it a lot. I did think I was going to like it a little more, but I liked it quite a bit. I like how now that we're just rambling about movies, we saw all of a sudden it spiked from like 9 viewers to 15. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're just talking about things. Cena, mutants. Yeah, we just talked about that on our
Yes. If you missed our Miss Marvel review, which was very topical and singular and on point the entire thing.
We stayed on the rails the entire time.
Definitely didn't diverge from the plan. But yeah, go back and watch our Miss Marvel review. Like it, watch it for 2 minutes, and then put your favorite emoji in the chat. That'll be fun. Just show us your favorite thing. And comment on that video. Appreciate you guys. Thrawn, yeah. Hustle. Everyone's talked about Hustle. I haven't got to it yet. That is a movie I want to see. And I love Adam Sandler when he tries more dramatic stuff. I didn't see what's the movie he did last year?
Look at this.
Geez, dude. It's not that good. I didn't like it. I didn't like it that much. I liked the movie just fine. I just didn't like it that much. Correct. I'm not Allison. Jake, you're bullshit. Fuck you.
2 Top Guns. Unfortunately, 2 Jurassic Worlds.
Why'd you see it twice? I fell asleep the first time. I was like, I have enough.
The first time I saw it was without my wife, and the second time was with my wife. Okay. And Elvis twice, Thor twice. And then I'm seeing Nope next week. Got my reservation right there.
That's a nope from me, dog. Garth, I think the Minions movies are just fine. They are exactly as advertised. And that's all I'm going to say about them. They're fine. They have a lot of good laughs. There's a lot of jokes in the Minions movies and the Despicable movies. They go over the kids' head. I think parents get. And so it's funner than it needs to
be. Vapion, I don't know if you know this, but I was Safdie's muse at Uncut Jams.
Uncut Jams. Yes, I was trying to remember the Sandler movie from last year, and I couldn't. Yes, Uncut Jams.
Despicable Me 2 is my favorite. Oh, at first I thought it just said Despicable Me 2 is my favorite franchise. I was like, bro, that's a single movie. Hey, speaking of... Actually, there is no transition. But I watched Sea Beast on Netflix, the new animated movie.
I was going to watch that today. I didn't.
It's wonderful. It's splendid. It's a feel-good movie. Carl Urban's good in it.
Does he voice the main guy in that?
Yes.
Nice.
And then Jared Harris is the bad guy.
He plays a bad guy in a lot of things.
Yeah, Moriarty.
Ooh, yeah, Moriarty. As I was going to say, I wonder if he will come back if they ever make another Sherlock movie with.
I'll tell you this though, as good as Jared Harris is as Moriarty, the best Moriarty is Andrew Scott in Sherlock. It's terrifying.
Is that the Benedict Cumberbatch one? I haven't watched it.
Yeah, and that's no slight on Jared Harris. He's great, but Andrew Scott, who you can also see in His Dark Materials with Daphne Keane and James McAvoy. It's a fun show.
Dark Materials?
Yes. It's the name of the book series. It's the name of the book series.
I liked The Golden Compass just fine. I wish they would have done sequels. And when His Dark Materials was coming on HBO, I recorded like the entirety of the first season. I just never watched it. So I was like, all right, I'm going to delete this.
I laughed at the fact that Lin-Manuel Miranda is in the show, and then you quickly get surprisingly invested into the character. Although every time he had a scene, my wife and I would always just go, yeah, after every line. So
yeah, maybe Jeremy. I don't know that they've seen the trailer a couple times now. I don't know if they really were super excited about it, to be honest.
I got to be honest, dude. Even by kids' standard, like the League of Super Pets looks dumb but a little funny. Maybe I'll see it.
Yeah.
But Paws of Fury looks so ungodly, unbearably stupid. I was like, this is not my demographic at all.
Popped up on my feed. Harloff did a just out of theater reaction or whatever. It's like 2 minutes long. And I'm like, I have never wanted to watch a video less than this out of theater reaction about Paws of Fury. Yeah, I did not watch it. So I don't know what he thought of it. I have no idea. I don't know what kind of reviews it's getting.
I'm imagining the word stoinks is in there somewhere.
Yeah. Yes, I never say no to popcorn. Beer, I'm hit or miss. I don't drink too often, but I always get popcorn, and I get like a tub of Raisinets from Costco instead of buying the box every time I go to the theater. And so I just fill up a Ziploc baggie, throw those in my pocket. They're always nice and warm and soft and melting by the time I actually get in the theater seat. It's so freaking hot here. Anyway, that's my life.
Hey, AJ Lancaster, who was on an episode of You've Never Seen It with Allison Salamoni talking about Sorry to Bother You.
Sorry to bother you.
Yeah. Did you have fun, AJ? Tell the good people here to listen and watch that show. It's a good show.
John, you'd be so disappointed. A lot of people are disappointed. I try to get my kids to watch cartoons. They glom onto whatever they want to glom onto. I fell in love with Star Wars because I tried to force them to watch Rebels, and they're like, yeah, no, and they left, and I got hooked on Rebels, and that's kind of where I jumped into Star Wars. And then I tried to get them to watch Avatar, and they did not care at all. I forced them to watch 3 episodes, and afterwards they're like, "Can we play with our tablet now?" Because I had to force them not to like get distracted from other things. I liked it just fine, but it was very much a kid's cartoon. But they just, I don't know.
My oldest brother has a child by marriage, and I had to babysit this kid for an afternoon. He was like 5, and I was like, I have a great idea. We're gonna bond over the Justice League cartoon. about 15 minutes in, he's like, "This is boring. I want to do something else." And I was like, "Well," and I definitely had like a Billy Madison version. I was like, "You're boring." And and then so I think he had some other issues because like 30 minutes later he shit himself, and I was like, "Yeah, this kid's a total loss. He doesn't like Justice League and he shit his pants. So get him out of here."
Guess what kids do? They break your heart and they shit themselves. That's literally what they do.
Put that on a shirt.
All
Put it
in
on a
the
t-shirt.
same moment. And you can pick up shirts with that quote on it at tpublic.com/flickinreal.
It'll look like Sean's shirt from the image, but I promise you it'll say "Kids break your heart and shit their pants" when you order it.
Yes.
There is a no money back guarantee though.
That'll be in the email. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
anyways, I knew that was part of why I was excited about it, because I wanted to see more of her after Logan, and I just never hopped on.
Not that we're wrapping up, because we're not, but I do want to propose an opportunity to Sean. Is there any shameless plugging you would like to do? Unlike Deadpool, which is shameless pegging, but that's different. But shameless plugging for anything coming up, maybe in the coming weeks, that might have something to do with.
That's public.
Oh
no!
I thought that's what we're talking about. Nope. Okay.
Nope. Well, that was next week.
I don't know. All right. Ignore that. You guys don't know anything. I didn't say anything. What are they gonna do? Not give me a match? Watch us all of a sudden spike up to like 40 live viewers with Christian Harloff in the chat. I thought that's what you were chatting with me about. I don't.
I was saying next week with the Comic-Con, we could talk about the afterwards of Comic-Con. I've never been to a Comic-Con. We have a Sacramento Comic-Con, and I think it's just like a standard WonderCon, like one of the smaller ones.
I've been to Emerald City twice, and you just made me so nervous. I literally just like spilled water on myself, and it looks like I peed myself. So ignore everything you just heard. And yeah, Comic-Con. I've been to Emerald City. That's our Seattle Comic-Con twice. I got a picture of Stan Lee the year before he passed. What I only had X amount of money, and I had an opportunity to either get a picture with Jason Momoa or Stan Lee, and I was like, I gotta take my shot, and I did.
Nice.
Yeah. And who was I dressed up as for my picture with Stan Lee? Well, it made the most sense to dress up as Obi-Wan Kenobi, of course.
Well, I mean, you got to pick an outfit and roll with it. You never know who you're going to see there.
Yeah. Anyways, so I did.
That's funny. I've always been. I'm never the type to get like fanboy out. Like if I see someone big or like a big superstar or celebrity of some kind, I just don't. I don't hit fanboy mode type of thing. I don't go for like signatures. I went to Mitch Richmond was a Kings player, Sacramento Kings basketball player back in the 90s, 2000s. And I went to a basketball camp of his when I was in like elementary school, middle school. So I have two rookie cards of his that I had signed, and I have since lost them. I don't know if they were going to be worth anything. He is a Hall of Famer now, but I like that's the only. Oh, that and I got my baseball glove signed by a Giants player, San Francisco Giants player, and you would think that you would like cherish that and put it up on a shelf. No, I played with that glove for like the next 10 years because it was my fucking baseball glove. So like I don't keep memorabilia. So I've never been the type to go to a con and like stand in line to meet someone or get a picture with someone.
It was Stan Lee was a big deal.
Yes, Stan Lee's a huge deal. Absolutely. It's just like going to a place for that purpose. I don't know. So I'd like to go to a con. I just don't want to put that much effort into it, which sounds weird. Like, hey, if it's there, I'd love to do it. Like if I'm ever in LA and it's during Comic-Con time, but that is also the type of thing nowadays where you have to plan ahead. You have to that is your goal in life to get there.
Well,
so
like
it's very different nowadays.
So I'm on the email list for Emerald City Comic-Con, and everybody they've been announcing. Like I read comics obviously, but I feel like I don't know enough comics to get super jacked about a lot of current artists and writers and stuff. Like there's part of me that wants to support them and everything, but I just that's not what gets me to go. And I was like, maybe I'll skip out on Emerald City, even though I've missed it and I haven't been for like 3 or 4 years. But then just this morning, I got an email that said Brendan Fraser would be there, and I was like, oh, it's kind of like a childhood icon a little bit. That's kind of cool.
With the Mummy, you're a big Bedazzled fan.
Yeah, and I want to be like Cliff. For those of you that watch Doom Patrol,
I haven't seen Doom Patrol. I haven't watched that either.
Doom Patrol is like, I don't know. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. It grows on you like a tumor.
Okay, you can't get it off. You need surgery to get.
You just learn to live with it.
Just learn to live with it. Yeah, but I meant Southern California, asshole. Thanks, Joey. Love you.
Still need to watch season 3 of Doom Patrol. Yeah, and season 4 I think is filmed or is around the corner. So, yeah.
One thing I do speak Doom Patrol. Alan Richardson was doing Jack Reacher. I do want to watch Jack Reacher. I need to finish Jack Ryan on Amazon. I'm about halfway through season 2, and then I want to hop into Jack Reacher as well because I really like him. He's good. He's a good actor, and they've said a lot of really good things about that show as well. Yeah, we did get a Streamlabs. What? Also, if anyone else wants Streamlabs, we do have it pinned in the comments. It's at the top. FYI, we got a Streamlabs from Shameless Pegging.
How did that happen? Who's that? I'm with Gio. Not to interrupt, but I'm with Gio. Harley Quinn season 3 looks fantastic. Cannot wait.
I haven't watched Harley Quinn season 1 or 2. I haven't watched any DC any DC show recently.
Listen, Young Justice is great, but Harley Quinn's special. Like a different.
I jumped out of the Arrowverse, and I literally haven't watched a single other DC show since Arrow ended. Basically,
chat. Let Sean know about Harley Quinn.
Anyway, from Streamlabs and Shameless Pegging, we were tipped $5. We appreciate you, Shameless Peg. William H. Macy, am I a joke to you?
And also,
I'm guessing that's from Mystery Men.
Well, I don't think there's pegging in Mystery Men. I wonder if it's from Shameless.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. Garth Harkness McMurray. I can't speak. Garth Harkness has tipped $1. Thank you, Garth. The makers of Paws of Fury deserve to be sued by the creators of Hong Kong Phooey, a long-eared dog in a gi doing martial arts. What the hell? Thank you, Garth. Thank you for the donation.
Jeremy, no, you're right. I did watch season 1 of Superman and Lois, but I currently have 16 episodes of season 2 on my DVR that I haven't gotten to. So that is something I do need to. But however, I haven't watched a single episode in season 2. Basically, that's where I'm sitting at. Harley Quinn is everything. I guess I need to hop into this show. Family show, right? It's a cartoon, so I can watch it with the kids.
No.
Should I introduce them to
I'm not sure like how quick our channel get pulled down, but I'd love to just bring up like a minute clip of that show and just be like, here you go. It feels very much like what happens if like Seth Green got a hold of Harley Quinn.
Yes.
It's very like self-aware. No, you know what it is? It's Teen Titans Go for adults.
And the boys.
Yeah.
Teen Titans Go for the adults. That makes
Seth
sense.
Green or Seth Rogen?
Oh, what I say? Yeah, Seth Rogen.
Yeah, wrong Seth. Gotta get your Seth together. Keep your Seth straight. But yeah, so like the way that Teen Titans Go to the movies was hilarious and like irreverent and poked fun at DC, like Lego Batman stuff. That's what Harley Quinn is, but it's very R.
It's a family show.
Yeah, it's a family picture.
It's like all cartoons are for kids.
Obviously.
Right? Yeah.
Obviously.
Hey kids, who wants to watch Harley Quinn? They're not listening. The door's closed. Do a watch along for the channel. Absolutely. That would be fun. It would just be me. All right, we're gonna pause this. What do I have to explain to you now? What just happened? Behind the curtain.
No, I wish.
Ooh, James is he making a cameo? Is James Gunn playing James Gunn, or is James Gunn playing a character?
James Gunn's playing James Gunn.
Okay.
Also, There's a clip I saw where Harley Quinn says, "Tell Ben Affleck I upper decked his fancy, what was it, like soda streamer or something." Yeah, Teen Titans Go behind the curtain after dark. Absolutely, that's what it is. Anyways, I can't pull anything up because my computer's slower and shit. Hey, anyone that can donate $1,000, I can get a new computer.
Jesse's struggle bus city all the time. Like he's like, hey, yeah, let's just do it all live with StreamYards. Is that because you don't want to edit anything? Because exporting a 30-minute video takes 4 hours or more on your computer.
4 hours if I don't have Wi-Fi on anything in the apartment.
trying to upload from your computer. I'm annoyed when I'm like, all right, cool, 10-minute video export. I'm like, why isn't it done yet? I just hit go. It should be done. It should take 10 seconds.
Meanwhile, like if it's a Saturday or something and I want to do a video to set to premiere or something, and like I try to get it like wrapped up by like 10 a.m. and then hit render, and I'll set it to go live at like 7 p.m. and just make it.
That's so brutal. When I jumped into this whole streaming thing, which is what a lot of the internet did, right? Everyone is hopping on board. It was the beginning of last year, and I just went to Best Buy and just said, "Hey, what's the cheapest like gaming computer you have?" And that's what I picked up. It was like $600. So for the entry level, which for a gaming computer, $600 pretty damn cheap. This thing has worked very well for me. So I was thinking about getting like a Mac Mini because I've heard they're pretty good, and like my wife has a MacBook computer that we might upgrade.
And then just mailing your old computer to Washington. That'd be nice.
That wasn't exactly where I was going with it, but I was thinking about getting a Mac just to switch it up. But I'm so used to Windows now that I don't know if I want to go through the hassle of learning a whole new operating system again. Seems like a lot of work. Garth. Yes.
That means Garth will remain a loyal subscriber for at least 1,000 days. We could use it.
Yes. We appreciate you sticking around.
Hey, if anyone's got any ideas of how we can make that jump from like 270 something up to 300, I'd love to have like a 300 subs party. That'd be pretty cool.
We had quite first of all, we love everyone who routinely actually comes to our streams to chat, because
absolutely, you guys are our friends.
Yeah. Regardless of whether we had a million people who we couldn't talk to because the chat was too damn busy, we appreciate you guys all being here.
Okay. But I just want you to know,
like, steady growth. Like we were hitting like one like new sub like every 3 or 4 days. We were just climbing, just like one at a time, 1 or 2 a week. It was pretty cool. And then just stagnant, and we haven't had any subscribers.
I remember like 4 months ago, I was like,
sure we lost a couple.
Can we hit 300 by my birthday? And it's like, you will get 2 subscribers. I just want, as a confidence booster, I want to let everyone know that you are all cooler than, and I like you more than John Campia, whose lazy ass came in, dropped a comment in our live chat, and then didn't follow the channel like the punk ass bitch that he is. So I just want to throw that out there. You can clip that out, John, because I don't know if you saw it. He made a like 5-minute video of all these live chats that he popped in, and we weren't in there. I was like, oh, I see. Oh, I see how it is. So
wait, what was his video about? I haven't watched a John Campia show in like 2 years, so I have no idea what he's doing with his channel.
Well, I guess he said that he watches a lot of live videos and reactions and stuff, but he thought it would be fun to just like start commenting on them, and then he recorded like people reacting or whatever. And I was like, oh well, because we kept our composure and didn't act like idiots, didn't end up on that montage.
Oh my God, is Campia here? Oh right. He popped into a bunch of shows because I was talking to a friend of the channel, Mr. Jake Berlin, and he popped into their Miss Marvel review as well. He popped into Roka's. What show was he doing? The Hot Mic? Yeah, he dropped into Roka's Hot Mic show with Jeff Snyder and dropped $100 stream chat.
What?
Or super chat and whatever. But yeah, no, he commented in our chat. We was like, hey, what's up? Like we highlighted his comments and asked him a follow-up question. He didn't say another word, so he was in and out pretty quick.
punk.
You know what?
Yeah.
Thanks for showing up. Apparently, we're on your algorithm for some reasons because you clicked on our live show.
I'll say this: if all of a sudden we got a chat from like Grace Randolph, I'd just be like, "Oh, look at that spam bot."
Anyway, so we just got a Streamlabs from John_Campia, who tipped $5 and said, "Hey, yo, WTF?"
I like that John changed the spelling of his name, just in case we. Yeah.
Just in case, just so we know exactly who it may or may not be.
Oh, wait. Sean, you did it wrong, by the way. John Campy has tipped in $5. Hey, yo, what the fuck? Thanks, John. Appreciate you.
Thanks, John. Appreciate you being here, John. We have someone else entering the chat, and then it's Mr. Scott Fox. What's up, buddy?
Scott Fox.
I'm finally back after what seems like an eternity.
All right, so I just have to say, Scott scared the crap out of me because I was in another tab and we said Scott jumping in the chat. I thought he was in the live chat, and all of a sudden I hear Scott Fox whispering sweet nothings into my ear hole, and I was like, "What? Hello?"
Why is Scott here?
Oh no!
Good morning, Jeremy Miller. Depending on what coast you're on.
What?
How you guys doing? It's been a long time. There's
We
been
are
a lot
very
of things
uncomfortable.
happening.
It's been a
It's
lot.
been
happening.
a hot minute. You've been
Scott,
on vacation. Where'd you go?
I went to, for those who don't know, tuning in, I live in Western Washington, and we traveled all the way across Idaho, Montana, down to Wyoming, all the way around, spent a week in Cody, Wyoming, which was amazing, down to Denver, Colorado, then back to Southeast Idaho to Lava Hot Springs, which is one of my favorite destinations for vacation, and then back across Oregon and up to Western Washington, where, and I'll be honest, at least it's temperate climate. There was a couple of days driving in the RV where it was 100 degrees. And that, by the way, is miserable.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
We put the air conditioner to work this vacation. Because Lava Hot Springs was upper 90s most days.
I mean, my AC has been working on overdrive. I also have a son who doesn't sweat very well due to a genetic disorder. It's not a joke. He really doesn't. So I like to keep the house cool. But he likes to go run around.
Wow.
So that's an issue. Yeah, look up ectodermal dysplasia.
Yeah, that's ectodermal dysplasia.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it affects his hair, skin, nails, teeth. He has a very mild form of it, so we got very lucky with that. If you Google it, you'll see a lot of the worst of the worst type of stuff, which is often what you see on the internet. But we're lucky with that. But yeah, when he's playing sports, especially in the summer, towards the end of the baseball season or like soccer or whatever, we have to like have him with cooling towels on, and we should basically just pour ice water on him halfway through the game. Just keep
my son, he and I had a long conversation on a road trip about, he was complaining that he was sweating and it was so hot. And I go, that's your body's natural reaction to trying to cool down. That's what your body does to combat the heat. And to the comment, I lose, or if he crinkles something, I'll lose my, never mind. I'm not sure what AJ was talking about, but if you're hot and you're down to your skivvies and it's still hot, there's nothing else to do. I hate heat. I would much rather have cold weather because I can throw a layer on much easier than I can take layers off.
It's not even that hot outside, but it's just I'm sitting in the office and this is the most muggy room in my apartment.
Yes, it is sweaty out.
And
it's great.
Scott, I gotta use you to plug our show tomorrow, hopefully, right? Are we doing news and views tomorrow? Are we talking about the Lord of the Rings?
That is affirmative, good sir. Bright and early in the morning.
Yes, sir.
I
believe
there's lots of goodness on that trailer.
I'm going to let Scott take the floor. If you don't know all your stuff about Tolkien, Scott's our guy. He's our Tolkien insider.
The hardest part is remembering what's in the movies and what's in the books, because I like to jump back and forth between them.
Oh yeah,
and I was talking
Scott
with a friend.
To throw trivia at us that we have no idea what. That's not a real thing.
Yeah, it's because it's in the books. But the hard part is that they don't have the rights to the Silmarillion, so they can't. There's certain things they can and can't do with the stories for this show. but it's built a lot off of the appendices of the Lord of the Rings books and some of the added materials. But what looks to be amazing is there's some moments of flashbacks where it looks like when Galadriel tells Elrond, I have seen things, that you would not, you could not comprehend. And then it flashed back to her travel through the north when she came over with the sons of Fëanor, and it was desolate, and they had to travel through basically several hundred miles of just ice and barren wasteland to get to the main part of Middle Earth. And very, very few female elves came in that quest kind of across on foot, and Galadriel was one of the ones who came with. So she's an absolute beast of a character, and I love that they're going to tell some of her story. The other thing is she's vastly older than Elrond, vastly older. And so I love how they're going to kind of look at that relationship and everything.
He's like, I've seen some things. It's like,
oh yeah. Well,
yeah.
she saw Morgoth, but Morgoth was gone by the time because the
don't
Valar
spoil everything
everybody
for our talk tomorrow.
But they are going to look at this one, really focus on the Sauron, the Rings of Power, and when the battle with Elendil and Gil-galad, and where they overthrow him, or supposedly that's what we're going to be looking at. And that's where Elrond was a part of that battle. But the predated one against the Sauron's basically boss, because he was just a henchman as a Maiar. He was just kind of the main man for Morgoth or Melkor. And so Galadriel has seen the real big baddie, whereas Elrond's seen Sauron. And he's seen evil, but he hasn't seen what Galadriel's seen with it. So I'm excited. This is going to be off the charts. And yes, the visuals look amazing for this. I am glad it does not look like they didn't shortchange on any of the budget as far as visual. They put it all in.
This is the most expensive show ever.
Yeah. It's the most expensive show ever.
It's the most expensive show ever.
So it breaks down to about 40 million per episode, roughly.
Yeah.
And lies, those aren't real names. You're incorrect, good sir. Fëanor actually made the Silmarils based off of the light from the trees of Valinor, which they show Telperion, and I'm blanking on the second one, but those are the two trees that they show in the trailer. And Fëanor caught the light of those trees inside the Silmarils, which is why the Silmarils are so important, because I could nerd out for another hour on this. Literally, I was jacked watching the trailer.
You know when you disassociate and you can just feel your like astral form like leaving your body and watching from afar? That's what happens when Scott gets into Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I just as part of my road trip tradition, I usually listen to the Silmarillion as I'm driving around on a road trip.
Is that safe?
Yes, it's
because I feel like I would just off the side of the road.
Nope. There's so much meat in those stories, and it's beautiful. The works that Tolkien put together are amazing. The fact that Peter Jackson put together what he put together, and now we're getting this Amazon show. It's everything a Tolkien fan could ask for.
I'm very excited that Howard Shore is coming back to score it, and I'm pulling Scott's leg. But I'm so excited for the show. I really love Lord of the Rings, and luckily we're blessed that Scott is not a gatekeeping fan that's like, you don't love it enough.
Right.
Like some people can be with Marvel.
Sometimes I hate people
are just
Well, and thank you, Legault Land 13. Laurelin and Telperion are the two trees. I had Telperion. I couldn't remember the other one. But yeah, the thing is, people who try to say that unless you know everything, that you're not good enough. People who've never read Lord of the Rings, one, you're missing out.
Andy Serkis just did Audible, so
dude,
check that out.
I bought The Hobbit and all three Lord of the Rings books by Andy Serkis. I am hopeful that someday he'll do the Silmarillion, because he did an amazing job on all of those. And so I own the whole set of Lord of the Rings, both by Robert Inglis as well as Andy Serkis. And I tell you what, Andy Serkis brings something new and fresh, and his acting chops are poured out. And when he gets into the Smeagol mode, makes the whole thing worthwhile.
Now, at while officiating my wedding, for those of you that do not know, Scott Fox did officiate my wedding. What was the name of this when we were doing our vows and all that good stuff?
That is Nenya.
That's right.
And your wife's is Vilya. And Gandalf's ring would have been Narya. And yours was the ring that Elrond wears. Your wife's was the one that Galadriel wears. And the other one would have been Gandalf's, which actually was given to Círdan, the shipwright, by Gil-galad, because he had all 3 rings and he passed them out to the 3 people. And Círdan gave it to Gandalf because he knew he would need it to defeat Sauron.
So when we do our weekly reviews for Lord of the Rings, I'm just going to full screen Scott and manage the chat. Obviously.
Oh man. Seriously, I am so pumped for this. Like when the show was announced, I was giddy, cautiously optimistic, but oh yeah, I'm so for Gil-galad. Oh man, and the fact that Elrond is the herald of Gil-galad, I'm so jacked for that. And I really hope they also go to the point, because this is supposed to focus on Numenor, that we get to see Elros, Elrond's brother, who is the father of the line of the Numenorian kings, and he is 27 generations the grandfather of Aragorn, and he is the first one of that line. He was the first of the Elvish and human hybrid to choose the human life as his endpoint. And no, not Sir Galahad. Take that somewhere else.
Get that shit out of here.
So yeah, I could nerd out about Tolkien all day long. It's so good, and it's so rich too. And that's one of the things, like, if people who go back and watch The Hobbit and don't like it because they've read just The Hobbit and they're like, none of this makes sense. What is all this junk? Well, you didn't read the additional materials where it talks about Egzog the Defiler. And
he's in a book, or in the movie, I mean. That's Menno Bennett, right?
He's one of the main guys in the movie.
Yes.
He's not in the book. Yep.
He's not in
but
the
he's
Hobbit
not
books?
in the Hobbit book.
Really?
No, he's in the appendices where it talks about the line of Durin, the children of Durin, who is the father of the dwarves, and it talks about how their battle for Moria, or Khazad-dûm.
Okay. So what is? Okay, so the events of the Hobbit, the book, though, is that not follow the events or the So what sold me off of reading the books after I listened to the Audible of Dune after Dune had come out, and Jesse was like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing Lord of the Rings next." I'm like, that'd be cool. I should probably do that too. And he's like, "Yeah, it's basically just a list of events. There's no storytelling to it. It's just like this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. It's not. There's no dialogue. It's not like." I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not listening to that. I don't have time for that.
The Hobbit's actually pretty good, but I tell you what, if you're listening to The Hobbit, also you have to listen to Lord of the Rings, the whole thing. And at the very end of Lord of the Rings, especially in the Andy Serkis edition, they have he reads through the appendices, which basically gives an accounting of hobbits, an accounting of Durin's folk, the line of kings from Numenor, elves. He encompasses a lot there, and if you take that and couple it with The Hobbit, you get a much richer picture of the background of everything that's going on, and why The Hobbit was so important, why Thorin went to go redeem Erebor. There's all those little extra pieces that are incredibly important to the overall story. But it takes the appendices of Lord of the Rings plus The Hobbit to really have a more full picture of it. And it makes The Hobbit actually better. The Hobbit movies. The Hobbit book is great by itself, but the Hobbit movies are awesome.
Did I miss you mentioning the world becoming round? What Lego? What are you talking about? Does the world do they debunk the flat Earth rumor and they make the world round?
Well, actually, in Numenor, if you look at Middle Earth and the shape of Earth, prior to the fall of Numenor, there was another island basically double the size of Middle Earth that was swallowed whole by Eru Ilúvatar, who is God in the Tolkien universe. And when essentially one of the last kings of Numenor decides that he's going to infiltrate Valinor, and he sails to the Undying Lands where no mortal is allowed to step.
Be a show and not just a movie. I feel like the show has so much more opportunity to like dive into these things. 10 hours of Lord of the Rings.
Yep. But because
we're going to get the runtime of the original trilogy in the first season.
That's amazing. Absolutely.
Extended editions or no?
Yeah, close. What are they? 3.5 hours?
Extended editions is 11 something.
Is it?
Like,
okay.
Return of the King and extended is 4 hours plus.
Yeah, it's 12 hours of Gandalf just shitting on Pippin. Just over and over and over again.
I could take 20 hours of that.
And what's crazy is that's nothing compared to how Gandalf talks to Pippin in the books.
Oh, really?
Oh, he beats him down in the books.
He's just at every opportunity. He's like, "You done fucked up now."
Oh, I'm just excited. I hope they don't. Like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic. I hope they don't bastardize the wealth of material that they have. It is the weird. Yes. It's they do a great job, or I trust them very well, but I'm hopeful that they don't do too much to alter it. But at the same time, I'm also realistic. To make a show, to make a movie, Lord of the Rings, to make into a movie by the book would be a 20+ hour movie.
Oh, sure.
So hard to do. And so also I'm having to any fan has to be understanding of the fact that they're going to take liberties. They have to do things. They have to be able to also create full story arcs. And with a lot of the Silmarillion, the other stuff, there's not love interest. There's not these beautiful storylines that are necessary to make a show entertaining. There's just a lot of historical, factual information of things that happen factual in a nonfiction book.
That makes sense.
There's a lot of extra stuff. And so fans are going to have to be okay to understand and know that they're going to take liberties. It's okay. They're going to do a good job. Have faith. Trust.
See, and I'm perfectly fine with that because I don't know much about any of the backstory, so I'm just going to take it as it comes. I've made my feelings very clear on prequels as a general principle, but if they're telling a story that doesn't necessarily lead into, or like, I hate when they're like, "Oh no, I really hope they don't build a Death Star." Like, no, that's they build this Death Star. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know if Scott knows the answer to this.
To what I understand is they don't actually own the rights to the actual Silmarillion stories, but because of the appendices and the other materials they have out there, there's enough material to allow them to tell the backstories of how we got to Middle Earth. Or how we got to the Lord of the Rings with the information of Rings of Power, but they don't actually own the rights to the book for production or the Silmarillion. Fortunately, there's enough stuff from the Silmarillion included in the appendices and some of the other materials, as well as also talked about and hinted at in the Lord of the Rings trilogy and The Hobbit, that they can make a story out of that. But we're not going to go all the way back and have Eru Ilúvatar singing the world into creation and teaching the music to the Valar.
Of course not.
We're not going to have those things. And if they do, maybe it'll be hints, but they won't be able to come out and directly do that. Yeah, I think WB owns everything else, I think.
Oh yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Speaking of work, like when who asked for it? Oh, Vapion. Is Lord of the Rings the only fantasy book series? So like for me, like my Lord of the Rings, for what Scott is, and not even to his extent, but I was all about Harry Potter growing up, as problematic as J.K. Rowling is nowadays. But I would have loved to seen every book be a season of a show. And I think that's something that when we get far enough away from the movies, give us another 10, 15 years, I guarantee you if HBO Max is still around, they're going to turn this into a show. Like that's the future of media content consumption, is going to be streaming stuff.
10 hours per year would be pretty solid.
Yes. And then you could actually get into the intricacies of the house elf uprising and like a lot of the little details like of stuff that happened in the books that just completely disregarded.
We can get hot Sirius Black.
Well, you take the Order of the Phoenix, best book, worst movie, as far as how it translated, or one of the book. The audiobook is over 25 hours, and the movie they had to cut so much.
It was my favorite. It was my favorite book, and it was not my favorite movie.
No, and the movie's not terrible, but they took an 880 page book, almost 900 page book, and tried to cut it to a 2.5 hour movie. Eesh. Now with a show, and you could crank that into 10 hours, 10 episodes as a season.
Yeah, you
could do justice to the entire thing, but there's so much in that book to digest that you have to throw so much out.
But JKR though, that's the thing. It's like justifying putting more money into her pocket. Hogwarts Legacy looks fun. Looking at some of the game mechanics, I'm interested, and hope it doesn't get too into the weeds. I'm like, you'll attend classes and learn spells. Like, I better not be sitting in an hour-long class to learn
this is really quick. Our daily reminder that we are about 21 days from the premiere of Sandman on Netflix, and they are going to making a 10-hour series just off of these two stories.
Nice.
It's going to be 10 episodes, hour long, just covering the first 2 volumes.
Do you know
in which there are about 11 or 12?
Do we even know? Are they dropping it all at once, or are they doing a Stranger Things and dropping it half and half?
As far as it sounds, it's going to be all at once.
Okay.
Which is cool because I'm going to binge it really hard, but I would not be opposed if they broke it up, because I would like people to talk about it more than they probably will.
Yeah. A Cursed Child movie didn't. Yeah, if they waited long enough. I mean, what the last movie came out 2011, so it's been 11 years. I mean, if they waited 8 more years, if they wait 7 more years and start filming,
you have the 19-year gap at that point.
Exactly, they got that 19-year gap. I don't know where the events of the Cursed Child take place. I never really looked into it. I was kind of past my Harry Potter phase by the time it came out.
It's 19 years later.
Was it the events of pretty much when he's dropping his kids off of school?
Yeah, well, his kids are now grown up. Essentially a 10-year break, and then he has kids, and his kids are now old enough, or I guess he's got several years away, and then his kids are old enough that he's got a couple kids in, and it's, I think, his youngest son, who is Albus Severus Potter, going into it, which is actually where we leave off.
Yeah, that's the
with
prologue.
That's the epilogue at the end of
that's the word.
The Deathly Hallows to part 2, and so that story picks up with him and his best friend. What is Malfoy's son's name? It's terrible.
Draconis? No, wasn't it Draconis or something to that effect? I can't remember.
That's going to bother me. But if they were able to do that, I like the fact that it would give Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson an opportunity to come back and reprise those roles. It'd be Scorpius, thank you.
Did everybody?
I knew it was something weird.
The HBO Max special, I thought it was pretty wonderful.
Oh, it was beautiful. That is the best reunion show I've seen in a really, really long time. Most reunions, like the Friends reunion, everyone waited 15 years for that, and it was trash. And then Harry Potter comes around, and it's a full 2-hour long movie, and I was weeping at the end of that.
True.
It was gorgeous the way they pulled it all together, and you got to kind of see the characters reliving the emotions of the fact that they spent a decade of their lives making those products, and it was seeing them grow up as friends, and then what that looked like when it ended and how it affected them. That documentary on the 20-year reunion of it was glorious.
There was I don't remember the details now. I remember being slightly disappointed though about them they left quite a bit out of like stories that I wanted to hear, and I'm fuzzy on the details now, but I remember feeling just a little. I liked what they gave us, but I wanted a little more. That's how it kind of felt.
I think the biggest disappointment for me was the fact that Alan Rickman has passed away, and there was not a character. Daniel Radcliffe is Harry Potter, but Alan Rickman is Severus Snape. Sure. I mean, he was the perfect casting for that role, and it made a huge impact on the quality of those movies and how they turned out. And it's one of those things where I'm glad they did the tribute to him and they talked about how impactful he was to other people. But it's just disappointing that he was gone, because such an incredible actor and what he brought to the roles. But I also like the way they talked about Gary Oldman taking Daniel Radcliffe and not just being like a fatherly figure, but teaching him acting tips, spending quality time and engaging with him, helping this young actor kind of stretch himself and grow into who he is as an individual. But also seeing these kids go from preteen to almost young adults, or into very young adults over the course of their life. That's a huge gap for every one of them to grow up in front of, and famous, incredibly famous. They couldn't go anywhere.
Other than TV shows, like nothing had been set forth for young kids, I feel like, that had accomplished that type of thing ever at the time, where you actually had kids growing, other than, like I said, other than like a TV show where you got network TV and stuff. But for what, 11 years, for 10 years, growing up in front of the screen, they did a good job. And most of the kids have turned out well enough.
Yeah.
Well adjusted.
Well, one of the things I really love about it is Richard Harris, one of my favorite actors, plays King Arthur in Camelot. Great stage actor. But he was the original Dumbledore, and after he passed away after the Chamber of Secrets, but they had to replace him with Michael Gambon, who did a great job. But Richard Harris was also influential in ensuring that all of the cast was really signed on for the entire series. He was adamant that if we're going to do this whole thing, he was really big into ensuring that they wanted to make sure they kept the same cast, same characters, same actors for all of the series. Unfortunately, he'd have been there for the whole time, but he passed away. Now, Michael Gambon did a beautiful job of taking the mantle of Albus Dumbledore, doing it slightly differently, but bringing Albus Dumbledore and carrying it forward. It was awesome. Did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? I would have, or I'd have been like Fred and George and tried to cross the line illegally.
Cross the age line. Yes. I love it. People making comparisons to the book where it says, like, the dialogue from the book says, Dumbledore calmly asks Harry, "Did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?" versus the movie.
It was a little more intense the way it came out in the movie.
That was Mike Newell going a little crazy with.
Let's not forget about Robbie Coltrane. Robbie Coltrane as Hagrid was just kiss.
The whole
even some underrated people like David Tennant as Barty Crouch Jr. And he barely gets any screen time, but man, he is creepy when he's hitting it. The whole tongue thing, and then goes on to be one of the better Doctor Who's we've ever had. There's a lot of David Tennant played Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
Whatever.
I just watched the movie with Troy Baker in it yesterday. That was
what in a movie?
What? I watched a movie from 1971 called Nicholas and Alexandra, and Troy Baker plays Rasputin, because it's about the last Tsar of Russia.
Wait. Troy Baker is a voice actor. I'm very confused.
Not Troy Baker. You're correct. What's Baker? I think they're both named Troy Baker. Isn't his name Troy Baker as well? Isn't he one of the doctors?
Scott? Yeah, one of the older doctors.
Yeah.
Chris Eccleston is one of my favorites. Tom Baker, Vapion is saying.
I'm thinking Tom Baker, not Troy Baker. Yeah.
Okay.
Troy Baker is Joel from The Last of Us, and
also
many other
Joker
video games
in Arkham Origins. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking Tom Baker. I'm sorry, I got the name.
But Doctor Who, Chris Eccleston is one of my favorites. Very underrated for his
Malekith.
Malekith, I thought he did a decent job with what he was given. That movie was not his fault. The inconsistent sizing, pacing, and misuse of a really great villain was not on Chris Eccleston.
Right.
I think Chris Eccleston's best performance was actually G.I. Joe as Destro.
The rides.
All right. We'll give you that.
Sure.
Good poll for the 5 people who saw G.I. Joe.
I was actually 2 of those 5 people.
You saw it twice? Wow.
I don't know. Maybe.
I took my kid to see Snake Eyes, and we were in the theater. We had just gotten popcorn, and we were walking towards the theater. And I'm like, you know what? Let's go to the bathroom first. Instead of setting our popcorn down, coming back out, like let's just go to the restroom first. It wasn't very busy. We can just set our stuff down on this counter over here. And I look over at him, and he's just like frozen with fear. I'm like, what's going on? Like, what's wrong, buddy? He goes, I don't want to see the snake movie. And I'm like, no, buddy, it's not a movie about snakes. There's not snakes. It's about a ninja, and he has, he saves the world, and it's all. And then come halfway through the movie, there's this scene with giant fucking snakes where he has to cut the head off. Did you guys see Snake Eyes?
No.
Neither of you see it? Oh, yeah. So he gets his name like Snake Eyes because he has to battle these 2 giant, like big, like the head is like this big, like 2 or 3 of them in like this cave, and he has to like cut the head off of one of them to
Like
to
Conan
work
the
his way out.
Barbarian when he has to cut off the snake's head, and it's like a giant robotic snake with a body.
Exactly. It was
Or
very
like a
cool.
basilisk.
Or the
Yes,
first
it was
live
essentially
action Jungle
Basilisk,
Book.
yes. Yeah. And so,
Ka?
I totally lied to my kid. Not on purpose. I didn't know there were snakes in the movie. But I was like, no. His name is Snake Eyes. He's a ninja.
Well, I suppose that explains where he got the name Snake Eyes from. Hey, and next time,
basically.
spoiler alert, buddy. Jeez Louise.
if you haven't seen it by now, you're not going to see it.
I agree.
I guess next thing you know, you're going to tell me that Verbal Kint is Kaiser Sose.
Yeah.
What? I started watching The Usual Suspects. I never finished it. I'm like,
What?
I'm over it.
Dude.
So
Yeah,
now we got to
I
do it.
just
You've never seen it with Scott Fox and Sean Wingblade.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I'm gonna skip Bryan Singer movies.
That's fair.
Listen, the movie, regardless of him, the movie is incredibly well done, almost flawless. So basically, you lied to your child. Yes.
Not the first time. It won't be the last one. Yes.
You grew up to be Indiana Jones. Yes.
Perfect. Yes.
But hold on a second.
Snakes.
He didn't have to follow
Snakes.
into a tank of snakes and have them like inside his shirt. Oh, that I love Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, but that opening sequence, it's amazing. But when he falls into that vat of snakes, oh man, it makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
And that in the
On the train.
oh yeah,
I hope John
on
gets
the train,
his
but then
kid.
also in the very first one, the Raiders of the Lost Ark, there's the snakes
John,
everywhere.
Yeah. When the Well of Souls.
Yes. But I'll tell you what, worse than the snakes is the rats in the Last Crusade. When they're in the tunnel with the rats underground in the city beneath Venice.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to make
I've
me,
always thought
bummed.
Nazis were the worst part of those
With
movies.
Allison Duty.
You thought the Nazis were the problem. It's the rats and snakes, man.
Do you subscribe to the belief that the movie would have happened exactly the same, Raiders, without Indy ever showing up? Because they still would have got the Grail. They still would have opened the Ark. Not the Grail, sorry, the Ark. They still would have all melted. Nothing would have changed. It didn't change anything.
Yeah, but Indy's the one using that staff and figured out how to use the staff properly to spy out the location to find the actual Ark.
So maybe they wouldn't have found it.
They wouldn't have ever found it. So
Yeah.
Indy was the one who found it for them.
Then
They
it
might have
wouldn't be
found
in a
it eventually.
warehouse somewhere in the Smithsonian anymore. Or no,
Or
that's
in
the
Area
only
51.
difference.
I want the crossover between Night at the Museum and Indiana Jones.
Okay, real quick. I was asked this question a long time ago
Okay.
of Han Solo or Indiana Jones. Which one do you prefer? And I'll tell you my answer real briefly is Indiana Jones because he punches a lot of Nazis in the face.
Well, Han
Thus
Solo
getting to victory.
shoots space Nazis. It's not that much different.
Not wrong.
That's true, but there's something different about really slugging one in the face. And he also punches one into the propeller of a plane and his guts get splattered all
that's
over the
true.
place.
Yeah.
Although
Pretty
Han
graphic.
Solo actually,
Now looking back at that movie.
Han Solo affected the outcome of the films he was in. So
That's true. It's very true.
Indiana
awesome.
Jones is still alive. He found the Holy Grail and drank from it. Literally, as long as Harrison Ford is alive, there's a chance for another Indiana Jones. Matter of fact, we're getting number 17 this year or next year,
with possible time travel, directed by James Mangold.
Did you see that that interview with Chris Pratt and who was the what's his name? He was on the Quirky Mercs. What the guy from MTV?
Oh, Josh Horowitz.
Josh Horowitz. Yeah, I think it was Josh interviewing him about. Did you ever have a conversation with Steven Spielberg about playing a young indie? And you see Chris go like, he looks over at his rep like, is that public knowledge? Like he looks at him like, he goes, there's a lot of things on the internet that I don't think are ever confirmed. And
maybe Indiana Jones number 5, and we don't even know it, will be just Harrison Ford telling a story about himself, and it'll cut back to Chris Pratt being Indiana Jones.
If it cuts to Chris Pratt, I'm walking out of the theater.
Oh, no. Come on. I love Chris Pratt. I think he'd be a great Indiana Jones.
He's unfairly maligned, I think.
I agree.
I think it's fine.
Andy Dwyer for life. Okay.
Ron Swanson for life. But anyways, guys, we've been running close to an hour and a half. Half of that being just Lord of the Rings talk to prep you and get you guys all ready and feeling knowledgeable for tomorrow's discussion of Lord of the Rings.
I think we could squeeze probably another 20 minutes in if you need it.
I'm glad that's on the table.
Just Irish minute and have like Robert De Niro stomping curbs and stuff. Just de-age Harrison, and even though he's like, I'm television, like he's like, I'm done.
The problem is, how do they CGI out his walker for him to be getting anywhere?
Exactly. It'll be good. It'll be fine.
They'll have him actually fly his own planes to different destinations in the movie. I mean, sorry, not fly, crash his own plane.
Crash his own planes. Yeah. That'll be Tom Cruise's next stunt, is flying with Harrison Ford.
Will that finally be the end of Tom Cruise?
The end of both of them. Yeah. Mike is not on board.
We do need to wrap up. It is getting late here on whichever coast that you are on, and I got believe it or not some things to do before I wake up early and get ready for our show tomorrow. So join us on News and Views tomorrow at I believe 9 a.m. probably 9:30. Might be 9:30.
That sounds like a time and during the day.
Yeah, 9:30. Yeah. So we'll talk to you guys all then. Any last minute things you guys want to discuss, talk about, plug about?
Nope. Go do the thing. Watch Allison's show. You've never seen it. It's up there.
Seriously. The episode on the Burbs is a must listen to. Must listen. So good.
Moose and Lomas were a treat.
And not only that, if you haven't watched the Burbs, go watch the Burbs, then listen to it, and then you'll understand why they love it so much.
Good night.
Meow.
Meow. He's very upset right now. Well, you want it in here. Now what? Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, good night, everybody. Guys. Keep it real. Hope you had fun. Hope you enjoyed the Miss Marvel view. And we'll talk to you tomorrow about Lord of the Rings and whatever else we can dig up. Keep it real.
Hey.
Where's the outro? Hit it, Sean.
Hit it. No. I hit the button a long time